Pulse of Africa. The face and voice of Africa. The story of resurgent and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. Pulse of Africa, the face and voice of Africa.
Welcome to Pulse of Africa News. I'm Adam Masai. We cover inspiring stories and key moments shaping Africa and beyond. We'll start with African leaders at the 2026 Africa Trade Summit. African leaders have renewed calls for bold economic reforms and innovative financing solutions to drive industrialization and inclusive growth across the continent during the 2026 Africa Trade Summit held in Accra. Welcoming President Carlos Manuel Villanova of Sao Tome and Principe to the Ghanaian capital, the host president described the summit as a critical platform for frank discussions on Africa's development trajectory, stressing that political independence must be matched by tangible economic transformation. Addressing the delegates, the president underscored that political freedom without economic progress remains incomplete, noting that sustainable development can only be achieved when reforms directly improve livelihoods and guarantee the safety and well-being of African citizens. He highlighted industrialization as a central pillar of Africa's future, while acknowledging the significant financing challenges it faces. Industrial development, he said, is inherently capital-intensive, yet access to long-term affordable finance remains limited, particularly for small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, which employ the majority of Africa's industrial workforce. To bridge this gap, African governments were urged to rethink how domestic capital is mobilized and deployed. The president called for the strategic rechanneling of pension funds, insurance assets, and sovereign wealth funds collectively managing hundreds of billions of dollars into productive sectors of the economy. He pointed to instruments such as industrial bonds, infrastructure funds, and diaspora financing as viable pathways to unlock patient capital, strengthen local industries, and accelerate Africa's economic transformation. The discussions in Accra reinforced a growing consensus among African leaders that achieving the continent's development ambitions will require not only political commitment, but also decisive financial reforms to mobilize Africa's own resources in support of trade, industry, and long-term growth. Rotary International, established globally in 1905 and founded in Ethiopia in 1955, now operates clubs in more than 200 countries. The organization brings together professionals, entrepreneurs, leaders, and community-minded individuals dedicated to making the world healthier and safer. Rotary International recently marked its 17th anniversary in Ethiopia, with a ceremony attended by Taye Asqaf-Selassie, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Magdas Daba, Minister of Health, Rotary International President Francesco Arrezo, and several members of Rotary. During the occasion, President Taye Asqaf-Selassie emphasized Rotary's pivotal role in supporting health provisions in Ethiopia. He highlighted the organization's significant contributions to polio eradication in the country, describing it as one of Rotary's most notable achievements. The President noted that Rotary's principles of service, integrity, fellowship, and leadership continue to resonate strongly in today's world.
Rotary's values of service, integrity, fellowship, and leadership are deeply relevant to the challenges and opportunities of our time. I congratulate Rotary Ethiopia on its 70 years of service and commend Rotary International for its enduring global leadership. I'd like to extend my sincere appreciation for your support in the provision of medical services, particularly in the eradication of polio in Ethiopia and as well as throughout the world.
In his remarks, Rotary International President Francisco Arrezo underscored that Rotary's ultimate goal is to foster peace worldwide. He noted that the organization's contributions in education, health, water, and other essential areas collectively advance the realization of peace.
We create peace every day. Every child, every girl, every boy that we permit to go to school is a step toward peace. Every liter of fresh water that we go to the communities in the difficult countries is a step toward peace. And every improvement of the environment is again a step toward peace. So we are living for peace, and our final goal, of course, is peace.
He also highlighted Rotary's collaboration with international partners such as the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the World Health Organization to achieve its mission. Concluding the celebration, President Arrezo stressed the importance of unity, stating true success cannot be achieved in isolation. It requires collaboration and collective efforts.
Ethiopia's green legacy initiatives are restoring urban parks and expanding green spaces across our cities. Green spaces protect the environment and strengthen healthy, resilient communities.
Rotary Ethiopia marked its 17th anniversary with a grand celebration that brought together global leaders, professionals, business figures, and long-standing partners of the organization. Among the distinguished guests was Magnus Lennartsson, Ambassador of Sweden to Ethiopia and permanent representative to the African Union. Ambassador Lennartsson's connection with Rotary dates back to 1989, when he was awarded a full scholarship by Rotary International. In his special diplomatic address during the anniversary, Ambassador Lennartsson expressed heartfelt gratitude for the scholarship that shaped his early career. He also used the occasion to reflect on the enduring ties between Ethiopia and Sweden, emphasizing the depth of their historical, political, and economic relations. The ambassador noted that Sweden is seeking to transform its partnership with Ethiopia from development assistance to trade and investment.
It is my firm belief that Swedish-Ethiopia relations will in the future evolve around trade and investment, rather than development assistance. And for sure, we need to find better synergies between the two. We sometimes refer to Ethiopia as the sleeping economic giant of Africa.
He highlighted Ethiopia's remarkable economic growth and underscored the increasing interest from Swedish investors in the country's expanding market. Furthermore, Ambassador stressed the importance of strengthening people-to-people connections as a foundation for mutually beneficial cooperation.
I note a growing interest in the Ethiopian market from Swedish companies, demonstrated most recently by the excellent turnout at the Ethio-Swedish Business Forum in November here in Addis. We will also seek to engage the significant Ethio-Swedish diaspora, estimated at some 35,000 people, and a very important people-to-people bridge between our countries.
Ambassador Lennartsson described Ethiopia as a key partner for Sweden in the competitive geopolitical landscape of the region and reaffirmed his government's steadfast commitment to working with Ethiopia through multilateral frameworks.
Ethiopia is a key partner at the center of a competitive and volatile geopolitical region with a strong market, high growth rate, and a transformative economic reforms. We want to work with Ethiopia to strengthen multilateralism and to tackle global challenges of our time. Less than 2 years from now, Ethiopia will host the 32nd Conference of the Parties on Climate Change, a huge undertaking by any standard for which Sweden stands ready to be a close partner.
The ambassador expressed optimism and enthusiasm about the future of Ethiopia-Sweden relations, voicing confidence that the partnership will continue to grow across multiple sectors in the years ahead. The African Union and the United States have reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening cooperation to promote peace, security, and economic growth across Africa. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau held talks in Addis Ababa with African Union Commission Chairperson Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, focusing on shared priorities and areas of collaboration between the two partners. Briefing the media after the meeting, Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau stated that he had constructive and candid discussion with the chairperson of the African Union Commission. He believed the AU could play an important role in promoting security and economic development in the region and beyond, and that it was in the best interest of the United States to see a prosperous and secure continent.
It's in our interest to have a stable and prosperous Africa. Africa presents many economic and commercial opportunities. It has incredible human resources which are growing. Its population is growing. That means that there are new markets, new economic opportunities. And it also has incredible resources and natural resources that can be developed for the good of the people of Africa and also for the good of the people of our country.
He also said that Africa presents many commercial and economic opportunities as the continent is endowed with incredible natural and human resources that could be utilized for mutual development. He affirmed that the U.S. wants to be present in Africa, not just for U.S. interests, but for the mutual benefit of both sides. The chairperson noted the importance of close coordination between the African Union and the United States.
My message should be clear that the United States wants to be present in Africa. We think there's many advantages for Africa and for the United States. So we talked a lot about economic opportunities, particularly these corridors. The Lobito corridor, I think, is a great example in which Africa can take great pride, and we want to definitely partner with Africa on these kinds of projects.
He affirmed the African Union's strong commitment to a strategic partnership with the United States, grounded in mutual respect, shared interests, and a common commitment to peace, stability, and prosperity. The chairperson mentioned that both sides need each other for sustainable peace and development, and expressed that the discussion revolved around finding the best ways to strengthen ties.
Most importantly, we need to tell, and we told them that you need us and we need you. So let us find a way to work, in a smart way, more genuine way to advance our common interest. Thank you.
Both sides welcomed strengthened cooperation on strategic infrastructure and investment, including progress achieved through AU-US technical working groups and sustained U.S. engagement with key departments of the African Union Commission. In this context, they announced the launch of the US-AUC Strategic Infrastructure and Investment Working Group, a concrete step to mobilize high-quality, trade-enabling infrastructure, unlock private sector investment, and advance continental priorities under Agenda 2063. The Program for Infrastructure Development in Africa, PIDA, in the African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA. They also exchanged views on cooperation in areas of health, peace, and security in the region, reaffirming African-led efforts in the Great Lakes region and Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, and expressing appreciation for the United States' complementary engagements. The African Development Bank Group and Agence Française de Développement have agreed to scale up joint investments and strengthen alignment on Africa's development priorities with co-financing under their partnership nearing £2.4 billion. Senior leaders from both institutions met in Abidjan on 23rd January to sharpen a shared focus on high-impact sectors, including energy under the Mission 300 initiative, jobs and skills entrepreneurship, water and agriculture, while accelerating the delivery of projects already in the pipeline. The discussions come as the current 2021 up to 2026 Partnership Framework Agreement enters its final phase and are expected to inform negotiations on a new cooperation framework reflecting growing ambition on both sides. AfDB Vice President Nena Nwabufo described the partnership as reaching a decisive moment, stressing the need to move faster from project preparation to implementation to maximize impact for African economies and communities. AFD Executive Director Adama Mariko said the meeting reaffirmed priority sectors such as employment, vocational training, and agriculture, while also exploring deeper institutional collaboration to improve delivery and skill development outcomes across the continent. Zambia has signed Memorandum of Understanding with 2 Chinese companies to develop large-scale solar projects expected to add up to 1,000 megawatts to the national grid, a move aimed at easing persistent power shortages. The agreements were signed at State House, with Energy Minister Makoto Chikori representing the Zambian government alongside executives from Longi Green Energy and Golden Sun, a subsidiary of China Pingmei Shenma Holding Group. Officials said the partnerships will accelerate investment and technical cooperation in renewable energy, supporting Zambia's shift toward a more diversified and resilient power mix. The deal comes as the country faces electricity instability caused by lower water levels at hydropower stations, which have triggered load shedding and highlighted the risks of heavy reliance on hydroelectric generation. By expanding solar capacity, the government aims to strengthen energy security, support industrial growth, and improve electricity access for households as demand continues to rise. Three-time Olympic 1,500 meters champion Faith Kipyegon has launched the Dare to Dream maternity ward in her hometown of Keringet, Nakuru County, marking a major step toward improving maternal and child health care in rural Kenya. Renowned globally for her record-breaking speed and dominance on the track, Kipyegon is now channeling her influence toward a different but equally vital mission, ensuring safe and dignified childbirth for women in underserved communities. The project was inspired by her own journey into motherhood and by witnessing the harsh realities many expectant mothers face due to limited access to quality health care. Kipyegon has spoken of seeing women approach childbirth with hope, only to encounter preventable complications and loss because of inadequate medical facilities. Since becoming a mother, I have seen firsthand the challenges women go through during pregnancy and childbirth, she shared. This project is about giving mothers and babies a better chance. The maternity ward is being developed in collaboration with partners including Nike, the Order of Malta, the Franciscan Sisters of Immaculate Conception, and the local community, an alliance Kipyegon says is central to the project's success. Designed as more than a medical facility, the Dare to Dream maternity ward aims to serve a safe, supportive space where women can give birth with dignity and proper care, and where newborns can begin life with essential medical support. While the ward bears her name, Kipyegon has emphasized that the focus is not personal recognition, but lasting impact for women and families who have long struggled to access safe maternal services. Having already cemented her legacy as one of the greatest middle-distance runners in history, Kipyegon is now building a different kind of legacy, one that extends beyond medals and records. By addressing one of Kenya's most urgent public health challenges, she is redefining what it means to be a champion, not only breaking records but transforming lives. Let's take a look at the current weather forecast across Africa. That's all for today. Before I conclude, I would like to invite you to watch our weekly program, El Dorado, which is coming up next. Thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limited possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.
For centuries, wealth possessed a geography. Gold embedded within mountains, oil extracted from beneath oceans, and diamond buried in geological silence. Power belonged to those who controlled the earth. That era is ending now.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limited possibilities. This is El Dorado.
Welcome to El Dorado, where we explore the hidden and rising economic powers shaping our continent. From natural resources to innovation, from markets to ideas, this is where Africans' potential comes into focus. Today, we turn to a force more valuable than gold, more powerful than oil. A young, dynamic population, a continent of thinkers, builders, and creators. What happens when the world invests in people? I'm Magdalene Tinaga, and this is El Dorado. Let's begin.
A land of wealth, a future of limited possibilities. This is El Dorado.
In the 21st century, the most valuable resource is no longer extracted. It is educated, trained, mobilized. The new engine of growth is no longer geological. It's a human, you and I. And today that engine is accelerating, not in the aging capitalist of the global north, but across a continent long misunderstood, Africa.
El Dorado.
The first thing we would like to touch is the global imbalance investors can no longer ignore. Across Europe, East Asia, and North America, a structural demographic shift is underway. Populations are aging, median ages are rising, labor forces are contracting. Entire economies are now confronting demographic constraints. At the same time, a contracting reality is emerging elsewhere. By 2035, Africa will possess the largest workforce on the planet. By 2050, 1 in 4 human beings will be African. And by the end of this century, over 40% of the world's youth will reside on this continent. This is not a marginal trend. It is a reconfiguration of global economic gravity.
El Dorado.
Now let's define the term the human dividend. Economists speak of dividends, not financial instruments, but demographic outcomes. A human dividend is realized when a young population is effectively transformed into a skilled, productive, and innovative workforce. It is the force that accelerated East Asia's rise. It powered the technological dominance of Silicon Valley. It underpinned Europe's modern prosperity. Africa now stands at an equivalent inflection point, but a scale unprecedented in the human history. The central question is no longer whether this dividend will materialize. The question is who will recognize it early enough to shape its trajectory.
A land of wealth, a future of limited possibilities. This is El Dorado.
A third, we would like to highlight the spots where strategic investors should focus. Where should they focus? This is not a narrative of philanthropy. It is a narrative of strategic return on human capital. The human dividend intersects directly with every high-growth sector, like educational and skill infrastructure, advancing learning systems, technical institutions, workforce development platforms. technology and digital services, Africa has already demonstrated leadership in mobile financial innovation. The next phase includes AI training, data services, and global distributed digital labor. Healthcare and life sciences, a youth population demonstrates scalable healthcare and supplies the talent to design and deliver it. Manufacturing and industrial capability, nearshoring, green manufacturing and productivity, driven industrialization anchored by skilled labor, creative and knowledge economics, film, music, design, software, architecture, and intellectual production. Human capital does not compete with these sectors. It amplifies all of them.
A land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado.
And now let us see Ethiopia and Africa from latent potential to strategic platform. Across Africa, and notably in Ethiopia, a transformation is underway. Millions of young people are entering higher education. Digital literacy is expanding rapidly. Entrepreneur capacity is emerging at a scale. Infrastructure today is no longer limited to roads and railways. It includes people equipped to generate value. Governments are aligning policy frameworks. Institutions are undergoing reform. Private capital is increasingly welcomed and increasingly essential. This is the environment in which long-term investors succeeded, not by pursuing extraction as we tried to mention earlier, but by building capability.
El Dorado.
At fifth, let's highlight the strategic advantage of early capital. History offers a constant lesson. The greatest investment returns are achieved not when opportunity becomes obvious, but when it is structurally inevitable and strategically underestimated. Africa's human dividend is inevitable. What remains uncertain is who positions themselves early enough to define the ecosystem. Those who invest now will merely access growth. They will shape markets, establish standards, and cultivate durable partnerships. This is the moment for patent capital, for institutional capital, and last for visionary capital. Next step is redefining partnership. This is not an extractive preposition. It is a model of co-creation, not ownership alone, but participation. The most successful investors will be those who invest in skills rather than dependency, transfer knowledge alongside capital, commit long-term value creation. Africa does not require saving. It requires serious strategic partners.
El Dorado.
At last, we have what we like to call the real El Dorado. The original El Dorado was a myth, a city of gold that never existed. This El Dorado is real. It enters classroom each morning, logs into digital platforms, builds enterprises, design futures. It's human, and most of all, it's African. And it is accessible to those with the foresight to invest, not in what can be extracted from the earth, but what can be cultivated in the human mind. This is the human dividend. This is where the future is being constructed.
El Dorado.
As we close today, we hope we've done more than tell a story. We hope we have revealed an opportunity rooted not just in numbers of forecasts, but in people, talent, ambition, and the promise of growth. If this conversation has helped investors see possibility where others see risk, then we have definitely done our job. Thank you for joining us on El Dorado this week, where we uncover the economic potential shaping tomorrow. That's all for today. See you next week.
El Dorado, a land of wealth, a future of limitless possibilities. This is El Dorado. From natural rich to groundbreaking innovations, discover Africa's untapped potential. El Dorado, unveiling Africa's global potential.